Wow, stories.
I left my husband, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm not imagining how unhappy I was before, but he insists we can fix it. I want us to live together as a happy family, but I don't trust him to follow through. I wanted to post here to get an outsider's perspective. Going to call my husband Dave. I was doing the triple burden, working, doing housework, handling childcare, and anything else child-related. I'm responsible for buying kids' clothes, arranging playdates, doctor's appointments, school events. Dave doesn't do any of these. He says I'm better at it. He also finds ways to belittle me in front of other people. He says he doesn't mean to, and it's just a cultural difference. But my friends and family all find it uncomfortable. I dread going out with him with others, as he'll find a way to embarrass me. Before Christmas, Dave lost a big contract, so he has been out of work and not really doing anything. I think he's actually been depressed, as it's very important to him to provide for his family. But he won't go to a doctor or talk to anyone. I've been trying to push him to get a job in a shop, to earn literally any money. But he refuses as I'm nagging him about it. Meanwhile, I changed jobs and went full-time for the first time in 5 years, partly for more money, partly for career advancement. The only issue with my new job is they don't believe in set schedules, so my working days and hours are all over the place. Sometimes I'm home as late as 10 p.m. I know the hours suck, but it's a 1-year contract for an incredibly good company, and I want to use it as a stepping stone for a better job. I thought with him out of work and me working all the time, he might step up, but I'd come home, and the plates would still be in the sink. I started getting really angry and resentful that I was having to work so hard on all angles to keep our family afloat. If I asked him to do any housework, he'd forget and say it's not a big deal. It only takes 5 minutes. And I'd say, yeah, that's 5 minutes in your 8 hours of nothing, or 5 minutes after my 10-hour workday. I tried to leave at Christmas, but after some very long talks, Dave agreed to step up around the house. He started doing a bit of laundry and a bit of washing up. He also ran out of money, so I had to take out a large loan to cover bills. I've been paying for everything for the last 3 to 4 months. I approached a charity and told them everything, and they agreed to help me. They paid the deposit and first month's rent for a flat, and I left last week. Since then, Dave has been devastated. He says he doesn't want to be without me. He misses me. He wants a future with me. He wants to fix this. I feel lighter than I have in a while. I'm actually excited about the new place and a fresh start. But I also feel really guilty that he's so upset. I feel like I'm betraying him. I'm torn. Do I ask him to move with me and trust that a fresh start will be better? Can we get past all this damage? Or do I stay by myself and leave him suffering? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He is playing up his suffering to guilt you into coming back. You made the right choice to leave. He used weaponized incompetence to dump everything at your feet. Has anything really changed? Has he gotten a job? Is he contributing to the care of his kids? Does he care about your feelings, or is everything still about how it affects him? Is your family glad you were getting away from him? How long had you been together? This sounds like a situation where a much older guy convinced a lady to put up with abuse because she didn't know what to expect in a healthy relationship. Comment 2. Someone else being upset doesn't mean you did something wrong, just that it wasn't what they wanted you to do. If he could have changed at any time and chose not to, then he chose your misery. He didn't care about your feelings until they motivated you to leave. I suspect he still does not care how his choices affected you, and is currently only concerned with how the consequences are affecting him. This man is not your child. You don't owe him a soft landing. Now, for the update, thanks for sticking around to hear more about what's been going on. So, I moved into the new flat, and it was like a breath of fresh air. No dirty dishes waiting for me, no laundry piling up unless I left it there. It was quiet, peaceful, and mine. But then, things started to get complicated. My job, the one with the crazy hours, it got even more demanding. They started asking me to travel last minute, and with the kids, it was a nightmare to arrange care. I found out Dave had been calling my mom, crying about how much he missed us. Mom, bless her, she's always been the type to fix things, so she started dropping hints that maybe I was too hasty. She didn't get it, though, how tired I was of carrying the weight for both of us. Then, out of nowhere, Dave did something unexpected. He got a job. Not just any job, but one at a local community center, helping other out-of-work folks find jobs. It was part-time, but it was something. He started sending me pictures of him at work, with people he was helping, trying to show me he was changing. But I was skeptical. I mean, after all this time, now he decides to step up? It felt like too little, too late. And yet, there was this tiny voice in the back of my head wondering if maybe, just maybe, this was real. The kids, they were adjusting, but they missed their dad. They'd ask about him, and I could tell they didn't understand why we couldn't all be together. It broke my heart, but I had to stay strong for them. Work sent me on a trip for a week, and I had no choice but to ask Dave to watch the kids. I came back expecting the worst, but the house was clean, the kids were happy, and there was a meal waiting for me. It was like walking into an alternate reality. Dave started talking about counseling, about really working on our issues. He said he realized how much he'd taken me for granted and that he wanted to make it right. I didn't know what to think. Part of me wanted to believe him, but the other part was scared of getting hurt again. Things took a turn when I got home late one night to find a letter from the bank. The loan I took out for the bills? Dave had missed payments while I was gone. The bank was threatening to take action if we didn't catch up. I was furious. How could he let this happen? I confronted Dave, and he broke down. He admitted he was overwhelmed, that he was trying to juggle too much, and he dropped the ball. He begged for my forgiveness, promising to sort it out. I didn't know if I could trust him, but when I looked in his eyes, I saw something I hadn't seen in a long time. Genuine remorse. We started going to counseling, and it was rough. We dug up a lot of old hurts, a lot of resentment, but we also started to communicate, really talk about what we needed from each other. It was like we were learning to be a couple all over again. The bank situation got sorted, but it was a wake-up call for both of us. We had to be a team or we were going to sink. Dave started managing his money better, and I started to let go of some of the control I'd been holding onto so tightly. And then, just when things were starting to look up, my job announced they were downsizing. I was one of the ones let go. It was a blow. After all the hard work I'd put in, all the late nights. But this time, I wasn't alone. Dave was there, supporting me, telling me we'd figure it out together. It's been 3 months since I left Dave, and what interesting to say the least it's been. But here we are, working on our marriage, on our family. It's not perfect, but it's real, it's messy, and it's ours. And for the first time in a long time, I'm hopeful about the future.